get it. Thank you very much, guys, for coming on to the podcast today. Thank you again for joining us on the mic with jb.banda. Today, guys, I've got a special guest with me. I got AJ Soni on the mic today, and this guy, you know, is very inspirational young guy. He's making big moves out there, standing out for everybody that's suffering from anxiety, depression and everything like that. He's gonna tell us all about his story today. He's a musician. He's a poet. And we came through and he's seen the podcast I did with Shaka, and he got in touch. And like I said, man, this platform is for everybody. If you've got a story to tell, hit me up and we can make it work. And he's definitely got a story to tell, and we're gonna listen to his story right now. How are you doing, AJ? How's it going, brother? You good?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing? Thank you for having me, jb.banda. Great honor for you to have me on.
Honestly, I'm humbled that you reached out, and I seen your email, I rang you, and then here we are now. We're making this happen, and I'm humbled that you actually reached out, man, because I feel like a lot of people need to hear your story, and I think you might help somebody out there who's going through the same thing that you went through. So yeah, man, like tell people a little bit about yourself, man, about just where you're from and what you're about.
So my name is AJ Soni. I'm a spoken word artist. I'm a poet from East London area, in Essex area.
Yeah.
I'm a spoken word artist. I'm a poet. I got diagnosed with autism in 2015. Wow. I went through depression. I went through anxiety. I went through loneliness and bullying from primary school non-stop. I went through social media addiction and depression from the age of 14 for 10 years in my room because of the lack of friends I didn't have. And a lot of people didn't understand my condition and didn't understand the person who I was. I got diagnosed with autism in 2015 at the age of 25. I did get protection once as well. I went to court cases 5 times in my life because my mental health was out of the control, because of lack of understanding from the people around the world. So yes,
my parents, that's a lot, man.
My parents have been through a lot because of me, and and I've been through a lot as well. So yeah. And my mission,
that's a lot, obviously, for everybody listening. Like, they'll be thinking, wow, this guy has been through a lot, and you have, man. Like, dealing with all the bullying, dealing with the addiction on social media, like you talked about it, and at the young age of 14 and everything that you've said. Where did it start? Like, take us back, like, obviously walk us through, like, when did you start, like, kind of getting the bullying side of things, and why did you think that started? Like, take us back, like a few years back when it started.
So the bullying actually started from primary school. I couldn't talk or walk properly or hear properly or even sleep properly or even eat properly until the age of 9.
Wow.
9 years old. During that time, I had dyslexia and dyspraxia, and the education system never knew I had autism back in the day. Wow. And it was just SEN. They just class you as SEN. And I remember, like, there were times where I was always be on my own, even in primary school, and getting bullied. And sometimes I don't feel wanted. Even there was a couple of teachers bullied me indirectly and directly because I'm going to talk properly.
Wow.
Even the kids bullied me. I hardly had any friends in primary school. Therefore, that really affected me. Due to that, it led me on to get depressed in my room for a number of years in my life.
And that was like early on as well. That was primary school, like.
Yeah, primary school, yeah. So that's what everything happened in primary school.
And then did you speak to, like, your parents about it? Did you tell them this was going on? Or
my parents was a big support. My mum was my big support. My dad was my big support. My sister was a big support. They all have been through a lot because of what I had to go through in my life. Rolling into high school now. High school was a tough era for me. Number one, due to my weight, people called me words like fat and obese, which wasn't acceptable. Number 3, the teachers couldn't do much about it. And number 4, I was getting private treatments from a doctor when I was in year 7, private treatment for me to open my nerves and my brain a bit more, you know, because remember I told you that I couldn't talk or walk properly. So that helped me to open some of the nerves. So MSN Messenger, that's where it started from. Because I was depressed in my room. I was like enclosed in my own room, you know. And it started with MSN Messenger.
This is back in the day. You're talking like 2006, 2004, like maybe around about them.
Yeah, 2004, 2006 era, yeah. So the bullying was horrendous. Every day being spattered at, every day being followed at, every day being kicked around, every day people pushed me away in the corner, every day where my lunches were taken away, every day feeling afraid that someone's going to hunt me down or beat me around or kicked me around, you know, every day feeling afraid of going to school, of people judging me non-stop and laughing in my faces.
Did you have any friends like at school? Like, did you have anybody that you sort of spoke to, or were you always like just by yourself, or did anybody know what?
No one, no one, no friends at all. Just me on my own.
Wow.
Only had a couple of people. People only use you for money. People use you for presents. People use you for things, but hardly any friends. You know, that was in high. I failed my GCSE grades. I failed my A-star grades because of the lack of extreme bullying I was going through. And I was sidelined of SEN again in high school because I wasn't doing that well. All the sets of the school system that I was at the bottom system, you know, like the right at the low. So the education really flopped me. Then college, obviously going college after GCSE and A-star, I went to college. And I hate going college because I went through racism indirectly. And yes, again, I was on my own again in the corner, you know, I was pushed around. People laughed at me, and physical bullying as well, like people pointing fingers at me, putting pictures of me and laughing at me, etc. And I was like really scared and fear, you know, and always wanted to say, I want to go home, you know. And when I got bullied in college, you know, this is one thing, special thing was great for me. You know, the singer called Jessie J.
Yeah.
Her sister was my mentor.
No way.
Her sister was my mentor, you know.
Wow.
And every time I get bullied, all the time or feeling afraid, I always go into that office and talk about things and talk about music, that I want to get into music. I want to get to spoken word. I want to get to poetry. I want to get where I want to get.
And when was this? So, was this in college or was this still in high school when you met Jessie J's sister?
This was in college because she was working there. Jessie J's sister, she was working at this college in East London from 2006 era to 2011, you know. So I left, my college ended at 2011. So it was during those times where I was going in college and, you know, if something bad happens to me, I was going to that office and talk about, you know. So going to college life was, I was afraid to even go to a bus. I was afraid to go out for a walk. I was afraid to go out for a run. I was afraid to go out anywhere because every day comes to me in my life that every Friday I'll get dressed up, put gel in my hair, everything, dressed up properly to go out. But then again, I make a big thing. I want to go out, but I don't have no friends to go out with.
Yeah.
Then again, my parents used to be my biggest support in my life. So yeah, so that's everything. So it led to anxiety. It led to depression. It led to mental health breakdowns. And then
when did you obviously you spoke about being at school and obviously getting bullied and stuff like that. Then you went obviously to college. You're speaking about Jessie J's sister. They're helping you out, which is great. Shout out to Jessie J. I was gonna say like what did you do? What did you study in college? And like what did you enroll for?
So during that time, obviously you got to listen to your parents, what they say. Yeah. So my parents told me you need to get a little bit of education in life. So I did maths and English and IT, you know, which I did pass all of them, like not the bestest grades. So just pass as basic because back then life was about education system. It wasn't about anything else.
Yeah.
And I never believed in the education system until this point. I don't believe in education, you know, because if you're gonna go and get some education, you don't want to get bullied, you don't want to be afraid, you don't want to be chased around people, you know, or you don't want to go through racism comments, you know.
Yeah.
So
what comments were these people like kind of saying at you? Obviously, if you don't mind sharing.
Same like fat, obese, things like you're ugly, you know, you need to go and cut your hair, brush your teeth, which I was doing all those things myself, but still calling me big names, you know, you're like an elephant, etc. And it was just horrendous, you know, what I had to go through, you know, and it's just not nice, you know. So then again in college, I was eating lunches on my own in the corner by myself, all by myself.
Did nobody like in all the classes that you had? Did nobody like obviously approach you? Did nobody like obviously when you went first day in at college? Did you not speak to anybody?
It was nothing like that. Only had those two mentors, as I mentioned, which was Jessie J's sister, and because of that, you know, helped me inside me, you know. So yeah.
Wow, that's mad, bro. That's mad. So when did the addiction obviously start with the MSN, like obviously the online abuse and all that stuff? Like when did that start?
So MSN Messenger addiction started when I was like 14 years old, you know, and that's when I was depressed in my room for a number of years in my life, you know, and yeah, and that's when it led, like when someone
when you mean like addiction, were you just like on the computer all the time, just talking to people, or what were you doing?
Just on the internet, on that social media, like MSN messages, talking to people, finding for friends, you know, trying to find the meaning of purpose of life. But obviously that was a wrong route, you know. And yeah, so again, like that was for 10 years in my room and staying on MSN messengers until like 5 in the morning.
Wow.
Only coming down for lunches, dinners, breakfast, you know. So I missed a big chunk of spending good quality time with my parents as well, you know. So that's all started from 14, then it escalated even more. So MSN Messenger was one, then it started to lead to Facebook as well. So social media addiction, then it led to trolling that I had to go through faced all the time, you know.
But do you reckon, like, obviously, the reason why you were addicted to social media was the fact that you didn't have any friends outside social media, so you felt a bit safer to make friends online?
Yeah, particularly that's what was my mindset back in the day. But for me, I don't think I will ever go through that route. What was a long time ago, you know. To get where I am today, it's been a long journey, you know. So yeah, I mean, I've been through all of that. I went to court quite a few times in my life.
Why?
Did get in trouble with the police, and my mental health got breakdowns, etc., due to the addiction of social media. Once again, and yeah, this was in 2012. You know, when I went to court, when I got put it down by the police. You know,
why did the police put you down? Like, what was the court case about?
It's just due to too much social media addiction, you know. It was just too much. It was a minor incident.
What happened? What happened when you say like it was too much addiction? Like obviously there must have been an incident that happened that they took you to court for it. Can you share on that, or you don't really want to talk about it?
I don't feel comfortable talking about that at the moment, but it was just a minor. It was just a minor skill, but again, it was all misconfusion, judgmental behavior from other people, and we know how police can be so misjudge us and misunderstand people with mental health and disability. And I feel as if there's still racism still increase out there in the world, and things like mental health and depression, anxiety, loneliness is still not accepted around the world. Coming to 2015, again, I got diagnosed with autism at the age of 25 in my life.
Wow. How did you find that out? What made you go get checked out? Like,
so it again, you know, as I said, from the age of 14, 10 years.
Mm.
So right up to 24, I was in and out of depression for a number of years in my room, you know. And what made me to find out is my behavior, my concept of my behavior that I was going through in the house. Not like anything bad, it's just like, you know, what I was going through, a bad patch that time for a number of years. And again, I went through private psychology. I went through NHS. So because my sister was studying psychology and she saw traits in me of autism, you know, so she said, I reckon that you got autism. We know you got dyslexia and dyspraxia, but then I got diagnosed with autism in 2015 through privately.
Wow.
And I was so confused in my life, you know. My parents supported me everywhere in my life, you know, wherever I went. My mum was my biggest support in my life, and my dad and my sister. And music was a big thing in my life. Music has always been a big thing, you know, in my life. Spoken word, poetry, rapping has always been a big thing in my life. But me being judged because I'm a condition from the government, from education and the police and other people around the world, there was a big, massive judgmental behavior out there, you know, which did affect my mental health and put it all against me.
Talk to us a little bit about obviously that online bullying that you went through. Like you said that you suffered a lot with trolling, like people were trolling you and things like that. Like talk to us how did that start? What happened?
So trolling, such as like people calling me weird. Again, people called me weirdo, people calling me fat, obese, words like ugly, words like freak, words like go and lose some weight, or your mum cuts your hair, you know. So a lot of bad words towards me to put a toll on my mental health, you know, because the lack of friends I didn't have outside.
Yeah. And was that going, were they like every time you'd post something, would they write that on your post then, would they?
Yeah. So basically I had a person who created a fake page about me.
Wow.
And I was into breakdancing, not too much, and someone recorded me and created a Facebook fake page about me.
Wow.
And posting harsh comments against me, and they put that video on YouTube, you know, because they knew I was a vulnerability target back in the day, you know. And that person has still got away until right now, and he's like in my community, you know. So there was a bunch of people which really trolled against me and really pushed the boundaries against me, you know. So these are what I had to face all the time, you know. Of fearing and feeling afraid and being scared, you know. Because of the education system failed me, GCSE, A-star grades, I had a lot of people out there in the world calling me fake and a failure. I'm not a genius. Just because you don't have a degree, you don't have a life. But you don't need a degree to get where you want to get, you know.
True.
My mission, visions to help the people through my spoken word and poetry. You know, I met Rita Ora in 2017. In 2017 at the Music Week Awards.
Wow.
And to meet Rita Ora was a big thing in my life. You know, she's also another inspirational person in my life as well. Who told me, he looked into my eyes that you can get into spoken word and poetry because you can change the world, you know. You can change the world. I met an American Swami in my life called Radhanath Swami, and he's blessed me many times in my life. When I was 16 years old, you know, I went to see him here and there, you know, as if when I can, until recently. And, you know, he has blessed me. And everything made sense in my life, you know, when people tell me that you need to raise awareness for the journey you've been through. You know, I had a couple of monks who told me in 2018, 2019 that you need to create a single. You need to perform out there about the journey, and you can help so many people out there. You know, one thing that which really haunted me is my parents, because they went through a lot because of what I go through, and that's what I don't want to see anymore. So I made that positive impact in this world, because I performed my first spoken word poetry in 2019 at Brixton Mind Over Matter.
Wow.
And that's where it started. I came across my best friend called Shocker, Self-Love. And obviously I met Shocker in person, and everything made sense to me. And like, Shocker's my best friend, and he's my inspirational role model. I would say he's the only best friend I've got in my life. You know, I don't hardly have any best friends. My mum and dad are my good friends. My parents, my family, my immediate family are my good family. I'm my best friends. But Shocker is my best friend in my life.
Wow.
You know,
you're right. This AJ, you're right by saying like, you know, obviously Rita Ora letting you know that, you know, you've got something in you. And I feel like even when you reached out to me and you told me your story, like immediately when you said just a couple of words about what you've been through, I knew I had to bring you on. Like I knew I had to bring you onto this platform, and I had to get you to speak on this because I feel like genuinely, honestly, I feel like genuinely your story matters. And I feel like genuinely a lot of people need to hear your story because like you've said, like, you know, the education system failed you, you know, like, you know, most people like no friends, the bullying, social media and kind of thing, getting addicted to that. Like there's a lot of people out there that are getting trolled. There's a lot of people out there that the education system is failing. And you're the living proof that, you know, the education system needs to do more for people like yourself. You know what I mean?
Agree. Yeah, definitely. So it started from Mind of a Matter in 2019. I was working in a job. I don't want to mention the name of the place where I was working in 2019. So in 2019, I got a job in central London, in Knightsbridge until 2020, and no, 2018 to 2019. So sorry about that. So 2018, I got myself a job in Knightsbridge until 2019. Yeah. So for about over a year, I was working in this high class job, and a couple of months was okay, but then again, it got weird. It was an workplace where I got judged at. I went through indirect of racism and favoritism as well, and inconverted way of racism due to my disability and my skin color. And I could sense there was bad energy in that place and in that department, in that whole building. There was bad energy, you know, and all the CEOs and directors, you know, they'll only follow the path of colorism, and it still exists. And racism in workplace still exists, you know, and mental health is still not accepted around the world when it comes to work placements, you know. So yeah, I did face racism in that department, in that place. And judgmental behavior. And that put me a toll of my mental health. And again, I was feeling low and feeling down, feeling depressed again. You know, this was in 2019, you know, time, 2018, 2019 time. Yeah, so it's January 2019. So that's what happened, you know. And everything made sense to me. And when you speak the truth against people, like the people against certain individuals in my workplace, you know, they will dislike you and they will disown you.
Wow.
And I had words like, "Oh, your BO stinks, you're ugly, etc." You know, you need to buy new clothes. You know, so a lot of bad words like that. You know, which really haunted me down. And there was a lot of favoritism there, you know. It was like a robot system. They treat you like robots in there, and they treat you like as if, like, you know, it's all about the business, it's all about the money. One person said to me, you need to forget your mental health, it's all about the money in the building.
Wow. So maybe in that job, like maybe you chose the wrong, like that job wasn't for you. I'm sure that's probably why you left, because that job wasn't like, they were just they were money motivated and they were not what they didn't care for anything.
They told me to go home, you know, wasn't because I was speaking the truth, you know, and that really put a toll on my mental health. And I'm happy I'm not working there. 2019, I met Shocker again. Was my first time and I came across Hussein Manawa. Hussein Manawa is a well-spoken word poet as well.
Yeah.
Like Shocker. Shocker is a self-love rapper helping other people when it comes to mental health. So these two legends came in my life, has blessed me and helped me through in my life, you know.
Yeah.
I want to point back the journey from 2015. So basically in 2015, I was on 6 tablets a day, you know.
Wow.
I had a probation officer as well. I was in and out of hospitals. I was in and out of seeing doctors and counselors and psychologists, you know.
Why did you have a probation officer? Like why did you need the probation officer? What was that about?
So because of the court case, you know, when I told you when I was going through court cases, like 5 times I went through, you know, because a tool of my mental health and due to addiction on social media. So I had a probation officer to talk about how to live properly, etc. You know, to teach me the right and the wrong things, which I couldn't learn a long time ago. 25 years of not knowing, putting my mental health aside, and I only found out I had autism in 2015, you know. And only if I knew I had autism when I was young, in primary, in high school, you know, I would have gone out there, out of my way to get the correct help and resources. Because the school education system never knew about my autism, everything was delayed. I couldn't sleep or walk properly from the age of 10, as I mentioned it again, you know. So my mission and vision is to make a change around the world, you know. So taking 6 tablets wasn't that great for me.
Wow.
It made me sleepy in my room or downstairs, you know. It was affected to my mind and my brain. And when I was seeing a probation officer, you know, that time, and she said to me that, I don't want to see you here in this building again, you know. I can see something special. You're going to do something big. When I also went to the garden allotments, you know, there was a group of other people where what they have been through of doing other activities, bad things in the world, you know, more worse, more like extreme, like bad than me. Like I wouldn't say I'm extremely bad. No, those are bad. So they all said to me that we don't want to see you back here again. You got something special in you to help the world. And everything made sense in my life. Everything made sense in my life, you know, and
So what's your, like, obviously 2019 you performed Brixton, you know, Mind Over Matter, you performed there. When did you know that you know you want to jump into poet? When did you know that this is something that you want to do? Like when did that moment when did you get that light bulb moment?
I always wanted to get into spoken word and poetry in my life, from what Aura told me, you know, and watching self-love on Instagram has inspired me until this point. People like Wretch 32, Gets, AJ Tracy, Miss Banks, Maya Jama, Shana Kane, Jamala Osman, you know, you got Hussein Manawa, White Poet, Miss Yankee, Stormzy, you know, A Huss. These all people, legends, all have inspired me in life, inspired me in my life, you know. If it weren't for Shocker, I won't be doing what I'm doing today. If it weren't for Hussein Manawa, I won't be doing what I'm doing today. If it weren't for White Poet or Miss Yankee, or Wretch 32, or Tiny Temper, or Gets, or Santon Dave, or Stormzy, I won't be doing what I'm doing today, you know. And I performed in Brixton Mind Over Matter when I was going through my mental health problems because of my workplace. And due to the bullying that I was going through in my workplace, me, myself, and I went to Brixton Mind Over Matter and performed there. And there was 80 people there. And that was my first performance in my life in 2019. You know, performed there. I performed my first piece and they all lit me up. They're all proud. And I met other people who are going through mental health or depression, anxiety, you know, and that's what I went through, you know.
So when obviously after your performance, like that made you felt great, and you know everybody was proud. Is that when you sort of thought, you know what, I gotta do this? I need to do more of this.
Everything it came to my senses. Everything what I went through, right, in my life, right, from young age to bullying and depression and autism awareness, me getting in trouble with the police and going to court cases, and because of all my mental health and seeing a probation officer, everything what I've been through in my life, you know, it all made sense in my life. Like, I can help so many other people who don't have a voice, or who's going through abuse, or who's got autism, or who's going through like different levels of behavior of autism, because autism is not just one level, there's different behaviors, you know. So there's different categories of autism. So there's a lower level, there's a higher level, there's a medium level, and there's a higher, extreme higher level. So I'm kind of blessed to God that, you know, I'm in the position to share my voice to help with the people. And me coming from a South Asian background from India, in my country, they don't accept people with mental health. They don't accept people with a disability. They don't accept people with autism. And they hardly accepted people with depression, and there's still a big taboo around the world.
No way. So you are not only just getting, you know, like, you're not being accepted here, like in the education system is failing you. You don't have friends. People around you kind of are not accepting you, and you are also not being accepted in your own culture. So that's kind of like, that's huge.
I mean, I wouldn't say, there's a couple of minority of people do accept it, but there's not enough awareness of acceptance, you know. It's like, you know, when you go to like Africa, Kenya, and Nigeria, like, you've got like the background village kind of backward thinking, then you've got the modern thinking, like, you know, like, so there's different kinds of avenues and mood swings, you know. So mental health is still a big taboo, and a taboo. It's always going to be a taboo, you know. And my mission is to break that silence. So going back to Bricks and Minor and Matter, everything made sense. And I wrote a special, wonderful piece that I performed as a freestyle. Then 2019, that year, I went to Hackney Empire because I was invited by Hussein Manawar. And I met Shocker there the first time in my life. But I was speaking to Shocker on Instagram and DMing him, and the universe connected us together. Like, it's so wonderful, you know, because his journey, what he went through, it similar kind of matches what I've been through, but in a different path. You know?
Absolutely, yeah. That's why, like, I interviewed Shaka, and we spoke on this because I came through Shaka because Tony Bellew had posted Shaka's video. That's how come I seen him, and then after that I messaged him because I had been through like a similar path. Like, I've been sectioned 3 times. He'd been sectioned 3 times. So we started messaging on Instagram. Then I was like, listen, I gotta bring you on my podcast. We need to raise awareness about mental health and like clear out the stigma about this. And it's funny how me doing that podcast with Shaka, you've then seen that podcast with me doing the Shaka, then you've reached out to me, and then here we are, me and you now are talking, and now you're sharing your story about what you've been through. And this is what the power of you know, like the universe is, the power of God, and God bringing people together.
God's blessing. God is blessing.
God's blessing is it's amazing, man. It's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. So I met Shaka in Hackney Empire, right? And we were talking, like, we talked, right? And he knew me who I was because before that I was speaking to him on Instagram, etc. So I met Hussein Manawar, and we went to the same school together. So we met after a long time. So he invited me to the special event, and I met Jamal Osman, who's been another big inspirational role model. Then I started performing all over London. So Brixton, Clapham, Streatham, Peckham, Clapham Common, Soho, Central London, East London, Shoreditch, you know, all different areas. I started performing my spoken word and poetry, and more people I was meeting, you know. So then I came across the likes of Stormzy twice. I came across and met Wretch 32 twice. I came across and met Miss Banks, AJ Tracy, those like, who else? Maya Jama, Tiffany Calver, Ellie Golding, so many people I met personally, and I spoke about my journey, what I went through, you know. So I want to say something to you, that this book here, like, called The Journey Home, right? Can you see this book? Yeah, by Radhanath Swami.
Wow.
He's an American Swami. And if you look at the book, like the lights, how it's designed, it's like, you know, you go through highs and lows in your life.
Wow.
And because of this Swami, it made sense in my life. And the Swami has blessed me many times, you know. There's another one person who I want to meet that I want to share with you. It's this book called Shetty, Think Like a Monk.
Like a Monk, man. That book is amazing. If anybody hasn't read that book, you're missing out. Jay Shetty, shout out Jay Shetty, man. Think Like a Monk. Yeah, that book is crazy, man. It's amazing. It's an amazing book.
I've known Jay Shetty since I was 2006. Through the similar because of the temple that I was going through, and I've known him, and I know a lot of people who knows him. So these two books have inspired me in my life, and my mission is to help with the people. So I went to the studio in 2020 last year, in lockdown, when lockdown got lifted, and I created a special piece of everything what I've been through in my life to help with the people and to raise awareness for depression, mental health, anxiety, and for autism awareness. And what I've been through is a special spoken word piece that I did in the studio. And this year, on the 28th of April in 2021, it's going to be my spoken word video shoot that I'm doing. Wow. And I'm going to be having real life people who are suffering through depression, anxiety, ADHD, for those who has been through depression, loneliness, who's going through section, who's been through domestic violence, who's been through racism. So yeah, and
where is the video shoot happening?
It's happening in Ladbroke Grove. So I've got a team of people who's assisting me. You know, yesterday I met Wretch 32. In Shoreditch. And, you know, me and him, I told him that Blinded by Your Grace, you know, really touched my heart. You know, his song has touched my heart. So 2019 has been a good journey, good road to me, you know, in my life, you know, and I'm blessed by God's mercy that to get where I am today, it's because of my journey, what I've been through. If I didn't go through that journey, I wouldn't have a purpose in this world. It's thanks to my mum that I was born in this world, because my mission and visions to change around the world, because spoken word poetry has paved my way. Anything's possible in this world. For those people that are suffering alone, remember, you're not alone. And I've been through that suicide times myself many times in my life. Note system. There were times I ran away in my life, didn't want to come home, then I came home. But the God's mercy has blessed me through. Just how Shocker has done self-love, he's done self-care, he's done self-respect and helping other people. My mission is to help the people who's going through autism, depression, anxiety. Just how Wretch 32 is helping other people. But a lot of people could be faking a failure. But I'm a bloody genius right now, because my mission is to help the people who's going through loneliness right now around the world. This is the materialistic world. I was overthinking, overtiming myself. And I was on 6 tablets a day. Now I'm on 1 tablet a day. Anything's possible in this world. You're not alone.
Wow. That is power, bro. That is powerful, man. Thank you. Powerful, man. Wow, that is amazing. Yeah. You are a genius, man. You are a genius. Yeah. And trust me, what you're doing right now is amazing. Like, you know, helping people out, speaking your truth, and like opening up the way you're opening up. And I pray to God, that one day you are going to talk about what you went through that court case. Because the minute you share that story, I tell you, those who open and you won't even know what to do with it. Because you are going to touch so many people. Because I feel like, I don't know why I'm saying this to you, but I'm saying this to you. I feel like if you speak about that court case and you really, truly speak about what you went through, you free yourself from feeling like you can't talk about it. And that once you free yourself and open yourself out to doing that, you are going to be so free, man. And you're going to help so many people as well. But you're already helping so many people through what you're doing. 100%, brother.
Sure. The reason why I went through that court case, I'm going to tell you right now, right? It's because of too much texting and calling, because of harassment over texting and calling, because of my mental health was out of the system, you know. as five court cases I went in my life. And, you know, because of lack of friends I didn't have, the lack of knowledge I didn't have, because I wasn't educated enough to understand between the right and the wrong in my life. But the police will judge you. The police will lock you up and try to lock you up. But I'm not like a piece of animal. I'm not like a piece of dirt, because I got treated like a piece of dirt. I went through this path of horrendous of social media addiction, which landed me into trouble. But I was wishing for friends. I didn't have any. My mission is to help with the people. No wonder why I had a probation office in my life and telling the right and wrong things in my life. But the gods and the angels blessed me through. No wonder why J Shetty think like a monk. There were times I wanted to be a monk and I tried to be a monk, but thinking like a monk has blessed me through. No wonder why Radhan Swami has helped me through in my life. Shocker has helped me through, and one best friend just called Shocker. And blinded by grace by storms in Wretch 32, Tiny Temper, Gets, My Drama, Jamala Osman, Shana Kane, T Star Nay, Wyatt Poet, Miss Yankee, Hussein Manawa is doing other things for around the world to helping other people. My voice for autism awareness.
Bro, you honestly, anybody listening out there, you need to support this guy. You need to turn up on this video. When is this video happening? Let the people know. Where can people come for this video?
So if you go on my Instagram, real AJ Soni, I'm gonna post that flyers out there. So where you can DM my DM the assistant, where you can get involved. So if you're from Africa, if you're from India, Nigeria, Jamaica, Wales, all around the world, if you want to get involved, you can DM. You know, it's not like you have to fly to London to get involved. You can get involved from your phone, you know.
Wow.
So yeah, so this is the first single that I'm doing. My first spoken word piece single, like actually a proper single, proper video shoot that I'm doing. And another thing I forgot to mention, that there's a lot of people in the society use me for my money, use me for my presence, and use me as for my gifts. They use you, and they'll pick on all of your vulnerability, you know, because that's what happened in my life, you know. So people used me, and once they use you, they won't chat to you ever again, because they know they can get whatever you want from you. So yeah, I had people come and go in my life, people using me for my presence, for my money, because of my disability. And because of my disability, people never accepted me back in the day. You know, even right now, autism, there's not enough awareness for autism, you know, and I'm that voice for autism awareness, and I'm that voice for world mental health awareness. And everything that I'm doing for the whole nation's world. I'm doing it for my parents, and I'm doing it for my best friend called Shoka, Hussein Manawa. I'm doing it for the people all around the world, you know, because I'm born for a purpose. I had people like Maya Jama sharing my stuff. I had people like No Late Official, Miss La Familia sharing my stuff, you know. In the lockdown got lifted last year, you know. Last year when the lockdown happened, I started building my self-confidence in my life, you know. I went through a deeper level, meaning that everything that I've been through, I performed at so many places, you know, I still need to be a bit more confident. So I started recording freestyles on my phone every day, like recording freestyles and putting content out there for the world, you know. Like what Shocker does, my boy, my bro, my best friend, what Shocker does, putting content out there, freestyles out there for a deeper meaning, for a purpose to help the people.
I've seen your content, man. Honestly, like, guys, I'm gonna put the link down below for this guy's Instagram. Make sure I'll put the link down below for his Instagram. I'm gonna put down below the links of all the books that he's reading. I'm gonna put the venue where you guys are, where he's doing his shoot, how you can reach out to AJ. Everybody needs to support this guy, man. Like, honestly, you are the realest guy I've ever spoken to, man. And my heart goes out to you. And I knew the minute I read, like, I pre-skimmed that email, And when you reached out, I just felt the edge, like something just came over me. I felt the edge that I don't even need to reply by email, but I need to call this guy. And I rang you straight away. I was parked in Marks and Spencer's in a car park in my car with my 3-week baby boy in the back. And I was literally just like, I seen the email quickly and I was like, listen, I gotta call this guy and just tell him I've seen the email and we're gonna make this happen. I just felt like I had to call you. And I wasn't wrong. Because, bro, your story, listening to what you've just told me, I'm so touched. I am humbled. And I am so, I just want to say I'm sorry that you had to go through that, bro. And I'm sorry that you didn't have friends out there. Listen, I'm your friend, man. Like, from now on, you've got my number. Ring me whenever you want, man. Like, if you need anything, brother, anything, ring me. Just hit me up. Just be like, JB, I'm reaching out to you right now. Like, I need your help. I need whatever you need. I'm telling you right now. Like, from the bottom of my heart, mate, you've got a friend and you've got a friend for life. Okay? Don't ever feel like you are alone, because tell you what, even when everybody forsakes you, God will never leave you. God will always be there for you, brother. And you've got something special in you. You've got something special in you. You are a genius, AJ. So you are a genius, bro. Don't let anybody tell you anything. Don't let nobody shame you. Don't let anybody call you what. You are God's best creation. You are beauty in its true form. Are you hearing me, man?
Yeah.
You are a king, man. You are a king. You get me? AJ, you are a king, man. You're royalty, bro. And you should be treated like that. You get me, man? So don't let anybody ever tell you anything, man. Don't let nobody ever say nothing to you, man.
Thank you.
Remember that.
My mission and vision is to travel every town and city around the world, in the universe. I want to perform at the world's biggest events and ensure that mental health and autism is fully accepted around the world. You know, I want to do like a tribute song for the people who have passed away through mental health and through depression and suicide, and get everyone on board to raise awareness, you know, because it's an important journey in my life and it's going to stay with me. And, you know, I want to say it once again, hats off to JB.Banda, hats off to Shocker, Stormzy, AJ, Tracy, Miss Banks, Santon, Dave, Mike, Jamala, Osman, Shana, Kane, Tiny Temper, you got Getz, Wretch 32, you got Hussein Manawa, Wyatt Poet, Miss Yankee. You know, if it weren't for these legends who I didn't met, you know, in real life, you know, I won't be where I am today. And, you know, it's thanks to all these legends and these people, you know, who's blessed me through.
Shout out to all the legends, man. Shout out to Wretch 32. I know he just opened up a spot in Shoreditch, the Green Machine, and I'm sure that's probably where you met him yesterday, his new joint. But yeah, no, shout out to all the legends out there, mate. And it's good to see people coming together. Shout out Maya Jama, you know, shout out Shaka. He's a legend, man. And Jay Shetty as well, man. If anybody hasn't read the book, Think Like a Monk, man, you need to read that book. I'll put the link down below. Shout out Jay Shetty as well. Honestly, bro, like, all I can say, man, like, your story has moved me and your story has touched me. And I hope it's touched all the listeners out there, everybody listening out there. Give AJ Soni, man, the love that he deserves, man. This guy he's a poet, and you truly are, man. You're a genius, bro. You are a genius. That's from now on, I'm just gonna call you genius. Like, literally, I'm gonna save you in my phone as genius, because that's who you are. You're a genius, and you literally, you're God's best creation, man. We all are, and you are definitely God's best creation in true form. And I truly believe that, and I want you to believe that. And I'm definitely gonna, like, you know, we're gonna put it up. People need to show this guy love. Go on his Instagram, look at what he's doing, support him, share his journey. This guy wants these people to know about anxiety, people to know about depression, people to know about, you know, how the education system fails other people. We don't want another AJ Soni. We don't want somebody else to go through what AJ went through. That's why he's speaking his story, so that we can stop the stigma, so that another kid doesn't have to go through the exact same thing he went through. We don't want another human person to go through what he went through. That's why he's sharing his story, to stop that, so that the education system can stop that. Boris, if you're listening, the education system is failing us out here. Instead of focusing on what's going on, help other people here suffering with mental health. And I know COVID hasn't helped, and I know things in the UK have started to open up. But Boris Johnson, if you're listening, man, help us out, because this is good, man. People need we need to raise a huge awareness on this. And definitely, I feel like, bro, you are gonna go out there, you're gonna perform around the world, man. I truly believe you are, and as long as you believe it, it will come to pass. You will do it, bro. You will do it. You will do it.
Definitely. See, meeting all these people was not easy, and everything is because of God's and the universe. Like meeting Stormzy is like, it's so hard to meet these people because these people are so busy every day. They're on a higher level. So the likes of Stormzy and Rich 32 and Shocker and Hussein Manowar and other names I've mentioned, meeting these people personally and chatting to the experience that I've been through, it wasn't easy. Everything is because of the universe, Absolutely, everything happens because of God. And if I won't be doing what I'm doing today, you don't know how many people I'm helping out there in the world.
That's so true. You're so right. Like through your story, it's very, very important. Through your test and tribulation. And I said this, if anybody didn't listen to the podcast I did with Shaka, I said this, like literally through your test and tribulation, what you've been through, you need to speak about what you've been through. That way you can help somebody who's going through it, and then they can also see the light. Because if they can hear you speak about what you've been through, the deepest and darkest moments you've had in your life, and they can see that you came out of it like you did, AJ, you went through, the darkest and the deepest point in your life, getting bullied, getting called names, and now look at where you are, bro. You know who you are. You are helping so many people out there by sharing your story. So I urge and encourage anybody that's been through something in their life to talk about it, to speak about it. And if you've got a story to tell, that's what I say. If you've got a story to tell, you listen to this podcast, hit me up, go to my Instagram, jb.banda, find me, DM me, I'll respond to you, I'll bring you on the platform so you can share your story, you can share what you've been through, so that somebody out there can also listen and they can know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. That's the reason I do On the Mic with jb.banda. That's the reason I do the podcast, for people like you, AJ, for people to come up on this podcast and share their story. I bring people like you because you've got the real voice, and I want people to hear your story. And that's what moves me. That's my purpose. That's what my purpose is. On the Mic with jb.banda is to bring people like AJ, people like Shaka, all these people that I've had on, they've all been through trials and tribulation, and they've all succeeded and come out the other end. And because of that, they're sharing their story and they're helping other people out there. And then those people that are listening out there, hopefully they'll also have the courage to go out there and share their story and help somebody else. And the more we do that, it's a domino effect. That's how the world works. And that's how we're going to change the world. You get me? That's how we're going to change the world.
I totally agree with you. And to be here today talking to you has been the most humble thing ever in my life. And it's deepest humbleness in my life. And as a person, I want to say deep thank you to you for having me, and I really hope more people reach out to me. And
they will, bro.
And so, and
honestly, they will.
If anyone who's feeling alone or who's got autism, remember you're not alone too, because you got hidden talent too. And you got hidden strength too, because I found my hidden strength too. If anyone's going alone or feeling through depression or going through suicide notes or mental health, remember you can always reach out to me and check my spoken word and poetry. And you guys are not alone. So yeah.
Wow, bro. Honestly, like, I am so humbled. I am moved. I am touched by your story, bro. Like, honestly, I love you, man. Like, honestly, I love you, and I'm grateful that you've come onto this platform to share your story. Like, honestly, I am moved, bro. I'm moved, bro. You get me? Like, honestly, AJ, I am moved. And I just, trust me, you're a genius, bro. You're a genius. You get me?
Thank you, man.
You're a genius. Man. And this is what, your life has meaning. All right? Anybody out there listening, your life has meaning. All right?
Thank you, man.
Anybody out there who's suffering from depression, suffering from loneliness, and thinking the world doesn't care, the world cares and the world needs you. You know, we need more people like AJ Soni in this world. We need true people. This is real, man. This is real life. And I'm sorry that the education system failed you, bro. I really am, man.
No, it's all right, man.
So sorry, bro. Like, I'm moved and I'm touched. And if anybody's listening to this, you need to share this. This guy is a genius. You are a genius, AJ, man. You are a genius. And I love you from the bottom of my heart. I am blessed. I am humbled.
I love you too.
I am humbled to be in your presence. I am humbled to be in your presence, AJ. I am humbled to be in your presence, bro. That's all I'm going to say. I'm humbled. I'm humbled, man. I'm humbled. I'm moved. I can't stop crying. I don't know why I'm crying, but I can't stop crying.
We've got to be happy, man. We've got to be happy. If I was there, I would have given you a hug by now, man. I would have given you a hug.
I'm crying. I don't know why I'm crying, but I'm just moved by you. I'm touched, man. Like, honestly,
thank you.
You are God's true bless. You are a blessing, man. You're a blessing, AJ Trace. You're a blessing, AJ Soni, man. You are. I love you, man. And I love you for it. And anybody listening to this, listen, go show AJ love. I'm going to put all the links down below. Make sure you subscribe to this. Make sure you share it. Make sure you write reviews, because make sure you post this to so many people. People need to see this. People need to hear AJ's story. Like, this guy, this guy deserves the biggest platform of all. He deserves everything. And trust me, man, so much blessings are coming towards you, man. You're not even gonna know what to do, what you're gonna do with it, man. The fact that you're going out there and you're sharing your talent, your story, you're telling your truth, you're gonna touch so many people beyond belief. You've touched me today. I'm humbled. I'm honored to be in your presence, AJ. And I'm glad I found a friend in you. And I'm so blessed to be in your presence, man. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, bro.
Thank you. Thank you. Haribo and Hare Krishna to you, and thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. To everybody out there listening, guys, make sure you download, subscribe, and share this, guys. This is AJ. We're definitely gonna bring him back onto the podcast down the line. We're gonna do a part 2 with him and find out how things are going. Make sure you support him, support his movement, support everything that he's doing, man. He's the realest of all. My genius, my new friend, my new best boy.
Thank you. Soni. My best friend too.
From the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. That's up to you guys. Thank you. Have a good day. Very humble. You're